Hey friends, I'm Kyle Chester and welcome back to my channel. This video is my coming out story. Hey!
Please excuse my American eyes.
Okay, but before we even go into this coming out story, y'all, let's just take a minute to appreciate the out of this shirt. I love it. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Walmart, because I was just in there for a snack and this shit popped out. And it was only $5. How could you not? I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. Do you guys, what do you think of this shirt? Hot or not? Let me know in the comments below. It was good. Anyway, moving on to the video. So my coming out story is actually kind of a weird one. I never really came out in a sense. Like I did have a coming out experience, and I'll get to that later on in this video. But for the most part, my entire life, people knew before I even knew what the fuck it was. You know what I mean? However, when I was growing up, when I was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, like that mental illness and, you know, sexuality and things like that were very taboo, and they weren't talked about as prominently as they are as say now in 2018. It was not so much, you know, bad until I got into school. It was more so in the middle of elementary and junior high when things started to get really bad. People would, you know, call me very derogatory terms, anything that you could think of. I have heard it, been there, done that. I've always known that I've liked men my entire life. You know, there's never been a time where I was like, well, maybe I don't. You know what I mean? I have always liked men. But the thing that was the most complicated about coming to grips with everything was first and foremost, understanding what the I was going through, because up until I was about 12, 13, that was when it just started coming into more topics, and you know, people were starting to become more vocal about things, and you know, sharing their experiences, and you know, because I grew up in a very what I will call conservative community, for lack of a better word, and people were not very accepting, and are not, even if they said that they were. I knew just by the way that they treated me and other people that they were not down with it, you know what I mean? But being so young and knowing nothing about it, and not knowing how to talk about it, you know, it was really scary, because I'm like, well, what is this? Why, what is this? And why does it match what I feel like, you know what I mean? It was traumatizing. So up until that point, it was really hard for me to understand why people hated me. Being singled out and basically rejected by every single one of your peers, and you know, even by your friends, you know what I mean? Because I had friends that were outcasts as well, but even in that group, I felt still alone, and I was the most different one. Ultimately, I was. No one really understood what I was going through, and if they did, I didn't know, you know, because no one knew. It was not talked about. So I struggled alone and in silence for a long time with my sexuality, and you know, being thrown in garbage cans, and you know, just having awful things happen to you because of, you know, essentially the way that you're just thinking is natural. You know, I'm a very flamboyant person, you know, I like very feminine things, you know, I like Barbie's, makeup, all that good shit, fashion, you know, what's good? Being criticized for all of that and singled out and made to feel like it wasn't natural was very hard, and it played a lot into my mental health issues that I have. And yeah, it was just really rough up until about grade 6. I was just tired of people, you know, just singling me out, and I was just tired of feeling like a freak, and I just wanted to be normal and blend in and be one with the crowd, you know what I mean? Because I was just tired of being seen as this freak. So, you know, I remember I dated a few girls, and nice girls, but you know, again, I always knew I wasn't attracted to women. So it was like I was pretty much forcing a puzzle piece to fit with a completely different set of puzzle pieces. And it was just not working, and I was uncomfortable and very, no, just no. I remember I was like, okay, well, I don't want to feel like this. And by this point, I had also been watching like YouTubers like Chris Crocker and Jeffree Star and people like that were emerging, like Davey Wavy and, you know, like the OG up, and, you know, they were talking about things that I was oh fuck boy, Chris Crocker, who, if you see this, boy, you changed my life. He helped me see that it was okay to be the way that I was, and, you know, he helped me understand it more. And, you know, Google coming up and shit, that really helped get information about it, and starting to talk about it with people that understood and got it, you know, made me feel better and made me feel not so alone and isolated, and it gave me a sense of power back, you know what I mean? So in this process, when it was about grade 7, this is where I came out fully in grade 7. So my dramatic ass, okay? Now just picture this, okay? 12-year-old me, I think. Yeah, I was about 12 years old, 13. I'm sitting there on Nextopia, like, blah, 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 living my life, doing what I'm doing. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm tired. I think I just finished watching a video of Chris Crocker. It was bitch please or something. And you know what? I was just so inspired, and I was like, you know what? Bitch please! Anyone got a problem with me and the way that God created me? Bitch please! So that was my whole motto for that. I am 12 years old. I sit on this Nextopia page, and on Nextopia, I don't know if any of you guys are familiar. If y'all are, hit me up in the comments. What's good? Y'all know. But so they gave you an option to choose your sexual preferences. So you know, you have the whole spectrum, but at this time they only had like 4, or like, yeah, like 4: lesbian, gay, bisexual, or straight. I told no one. My dramatic ass. And so I decided to just go fuck it and go bitch please and set it to gay. Oh, I still cringe at myself for that, because there was no thought put into that, because the reaction and backlash from that was absolutely devastating and traumatic and agonizing. But I'm thankful that I did have friends that were by my side and supportive the entire way. And, you know, didn't make me feel bad, and, you know, they supported me the entire way. After I'd done that, oh boy, I wish I didn't do that, because at that time, everyone in my school was on Nextopia, and everyone everyone that was basically cool was on that website at that time, and everyone saw it, everyone. And I remember it caused a lot of rifts and panic, and I had a lot of explaining to do. You know, for my family and for people that really knew me, it wasn't a surprise. You know, they were just waiting for me to be comfortable with it. And my family was always, like, I shouldn't say that my family, like, it wasn't really talked about, because it was, but, like, my family was like, you can enjoy things and be the way you are and not have your sexuality defined by it, you know what I mean? Like, my family was genuinely very supportive of everything that I did. I mean, even if necessarily they didn't always understand and agree with it, they never ever limited me. And that is something that I seriously appreciate to this day. I had a lot of close family friends too that were very open and accepting, because, you know, they came from that time of what's good, everything is weird. Like, I mean, shit. I had a neighbor, and we're still good friends. Sandy, if you're watching this, hey girl, I'm about to tell your favorite story of me. But basically, I was in my mom's heels, my mom's fur coat, you know, I think Sandy hooked me up with some, like, a wig or some shit. And I just walked down the street. I had no f***s given. I think that this was just before I'd come out, or a little bit afterwards, and I just didn't care anymore about everything. I was just so free, you know what I mean? So it caused a lot of backlash, and, you know, I wish that I didn't maybe do it in such a dramatic fashion. But ultimately, that at that moment when I did that, that was what set me free. I just felt relieved, because I could finally stop with this charade of obviously being a faggot. And I'm going to use that term because I am a faggot. Hi. It was freeing. It was so freeing. And, you know, I still struggled for a while with getting people to understand and accept it. But, you know, at the end of the day, I didn't care, you know, because I knew in my heart that I was created this way for a reason. It was no mistake. It was no accident. And everybody is loved equally by the divine source. That's all that I know. But that was, you know, my little coming out story. And if there's anything that I could take away and have learned from that and give advice to anyone that might be struggling with this exact same thing, the most important things that you can do when it comes to your sexuality is be honest with yourself and everybody else, because ultimately if you are suppressing those feelings and you're not being honest with yourself, you are ultimately not living in your truth, and you are not going to be living a happy and fulfilled life. And you are always going to feel empty in your relationships because you're not fully getting what you want. And the next thing that I wish that someone had told me earlier, you were created the way that you were. There's no mistakes. Every single thing about you is beautiful. And the right people will see the beauty in the artwork that is you. And it's unfortunate that people will try to dim your light. A lot of the times when people are singling you out, especially with sexuality, it's coming from a place of fear, of not understanding. A lot of the times people are insecure about their sexualities themselves when they're doing it. So take everything that happens with a grain of salt. Don't, you know, take insults so seriously. Take the power back in those insults, because they are not calling you anything other than truth. So when, you know, when someone calls me a faggot, I'm like, yo, what's good? Yes, I am. Because I am. I am a queer. I am a gaylord. I am freaking Liberace to the core, okay? And I'm proud of that, because if I'm not proud of it, who's gonna be proud of it? Because God fuck up. No matter what people say, no matter how people make you feel, you are worth every single thing in life. Happiness, love, success, everything. So live in your truth and be yourself. As always, you guys, thank you so much for liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing with your friends, coming back for more, doing what you do. I appreciate the shit out of it, and I love you guys so much. Until next video, you guys, stay blessed, stay beautiful, stay strong, and stay truthful. Mwah.